Well, I'll tell you what a relief. I wasn't sure what to expect when I got up here to camp, how much snow was going to be in here. But there's not a lot, it's mostly melted off. So the last time I was up here and I came up to plow, there was over 2 feet of snow, and I had some issues with my four-wheeler winch that operates the plow. And I'll put a link to that video up here, but I had to leave it unfinished. And it had gotten to the point where I couldn't push any more snow. So I had to hire someone to come in and plow it out, but there's a little more to do. We are going to clean up a little bit over in here. Yeah, this should be easy. First things first, 3 mice. Well, that's what I like to see. We got 3 mice in the bucket. One of the things about mice is if you keep on top of them and you keep eliminating them, then you really don't have any problems. There's obviously mice getting in, but they're not here very long before they're dropping in that bucket, and they're not causing problems. They're not building nests. They're not, chewing into mattresses and pillows and blankets, and they can be very destructive. So one of the issues I'm going to have is this ground is really soft underneath the snow, because the ground wasn't frozen when we got all the snow, and it's been insulated, so it hasn't frozen down. One of the things we did this fall is we put some snow slide stops on the roof. Because this is a metal roof and we get lots of snow, like you saw in the last episode, the snow piles up, and when it starts to melt, it slides off the roof. What happened last winter is a big bunch of snow slid off the roof and just about dragged our chimney right off. Did a lot of damage. It put a big dent in the pipe and literally almost tore it off the roof. So I put the snow stops on so it would hold that big heavy bunch of snow so it would melt off and not slide off. In the last video, we had heavy snow on the roof. Most of it is gone and it's slidden off, but right around our chimney pipe, it's still holding on. So it actually worked pretty good. It's not fancy, but it's good. Super quiet. The deer have been around here quite a bit. I'm surprised at how much deer activity we have, but I think it has a lot to do with the amount of snow we've gotten so far. This mound behind us is what our well pump is in. They've been on that digging, and this has got some kind of ornamental grass growing on it, and it has tubers. So I think that they're in there digging for the tubers, but they're pawing it all up. But yeah, it's super quiet here. This is the kind of stuff I eat when my wife's not cooking. So one of the things that we have to address here is our generator. Now, we run this generator a lot, and we run it for the most mundane reasons. If we need to run some lights, the generator's on. If we need to charge our phones, we usually try to wait till the evening when the generator is on because we're running lights. If we need to bake something in the oven, it requires power for the oven to work. Even though it's a gas oven, even though you could light it by hand, it still needs power to maintain operation for whatever reason. So our generator runs a lot. We took advantage of the Black Friday sales during November to purchase some components that will start us down the road of having solar here at the camp. Now, we're not going to have solar panels, but we are going to have batteries, inverter, and a charge verter. At least these components will get us started down that road. We'll be able to charge our 100 amp hour lithium battery through the charge inverter with our generator. And we'll only need to run the generator when the batteries get sufficiently low enough where we need to charge them. Eventually we'll get solar panels and we'll be able to incorporate those into the system. Because of our lack of sunshine here in the winter months, as you can see, it's pretty gray out. And the sun is fairly low on the horizon. We don't get a lot of sun here. So I'm not going to rely on solar panels so much as we're going to rely on the generator, I think. It should work out that the few things that we need electricity for in the camp, we could run a couple of days on one battery. And we should be able to charge that battery in about an hour. So instead of running the generator 6 hours a day or 6 hours in the evening, we'll only run the generator 1 hour every couple of days. And I think that's a win. Now we have plenty of room in here to put everything in the generator house, but it'll be difficult to heat this room. And those lithium batteries need to be above a certain temperature to be able to charge. Or I do it in the camp where we have our panel box, and we also have a little propane heater that I'll be able to keep this room warm. But then I'd have to bury a 10-4 wire all the way from the generator house and get it in here so I can utilize that 240 volts to run through the charge inverter to charge our batteries. Forgive me, please. Well, some mornings it's perked and some mornings it's instant. So this morning we're doing instant because I'm packing up this morning and heading back home. We came up here basically just to make sure that we could get in the driveway after all that snow. But I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't very much, and most of it had melted off. I did plow out some of the yard just to make room, so if we get a lot of snow later, we got room to push snow away. Yeah, we looked at the electric for the inverter, battery, and charger system that we're going to do, the solar system. And I did find that there is no earth ground in our panel in the camp, so I got to deal with that. Still not sure if I'm going to put this system in the camp where we can warm it up, or build an insulated box that we can heat somehow out in the generator house. I think my brain is shot, or it's just too early. So I once heard that if you have a camp or a cottage, that it should be more than an hour away from your home. And the reason behind that is, if you're more than an hour away from your primary residence, you kind of forget about or don't think about all the things that you have to do at home. Like shovel snow, rake leaves, mow the lawn. You know what I'm talking about. If you're more than an hour away, you don't worry about that stuff. You're more invested in where you are and what you're doing there. But if you're less than an hour away, you could always say, oh, I've got to go home, mow the lawn. So you pack up and you go back home. I think that's pretty true. At least it's true for me. Yeah, so I'm gonna have my coffee, get packed up, and head home.